Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So we're going to carry on about the June 1984 attack on Darbar Sahib, known as the Golden Temple globally, by the Indian forces. So as we covered in my previous videos on my Instagram, you can even see the Instagram previous videos last few days. We're trying to get the facts across what happened. It's important that you guys watch those videos, so when you're answering questions to non-Sikhs, you can actually give the right facts. Unfortunately, education has been lacking since 1984 exactly as to what happened, so the propaganda has been successful by the Indian government and painting the Sikhs as terrorists. So, did you know that in 1984, after the attack, Bhagat Puran Singh Ji, a world-renowned, well-respected humanitarian in the Sikh world, as well as in many places, Asia, especially Pakistan and other places, that he was given an award by the Indian government for his humanitarian work. And after the attack, Bhagat Puran Singh Ji returned the award. He wrote a letter to the government, to the President of India. I got a letter here. I highlighted some bits, but I'm going to try and read as much as I can. It's important you share these. Why did Bhagat Puran Singh Ji decide to return an award? This is actually a very important fact that has been buried in history, because obviously the government doesn't like to advertise that people have returned the awards for any reason at all. This is a letter Bhagat Puran Singh Ji wrote to the President of India. The return of the award of Padma Shri against the inhumane army action at Sri Darbar Sahib, Amritsar. Imagine the feeling of Bhagat Puran Singh Ji to write that letter. It wasn't something lightly done. An award has been given by the Indian government previously to Bhagat Puran Singh Ji. He's returning that award out of anger, disgust, and what took place at Darbar Sahib in 1984, which is the Golden Temple, by the Indian army. So Bhagat Puran Singh himself, with his team, investigated what happened. Army men arrested a scripture reader of Sri Darbar Sahib along with his family. The entire family was not given either food or water for the whole day. Rifle butts, the ends of the rifle, were administered. So basically the hands of the Gyanis were beaten by the rifle butts, by the army using rifle butts. Another scripture reader of the shrine was given the same treatment until his hands were swollen. The Sangat of Darbar Sahib complex, consisting of women, men and children, has been fired upon and killed. The pilgrims who had been arrested at Sri Darbar Sahib and Teja Singh Samundri Hall around 12 noon on Tuesday were given water by the Sikh army men after 30 hours on Wednesday. So only the Sikh soldiers gave water after 30 hours. The heat in that time in June, Punjab, is unbearable, 40 plus degrees. And I imagine not being given water. I will come back to that later after the letter, how people are deprived of water and how they died. The children's eyes were popping out with thirst, and their mothers tried to moist their lips with sweat. When some women asked for water for the children, the army men told them that the children would grow up and kill the army or kill the soldiers, so why should they be given water? On Tuesday, a small quantity of water was given to the children, had cigarettes thrown into it. They were told this is the prasad of their guru. Army men smoked cigarette at Teja Singh Samundri Hall and kept on blowing smoke at the Sikhs. Hands of the young pilgrims arrested from Darbar Sahib were tied with their turbans. Their hair were untied and used to cover their eyes. They were forced to kneel down on the hot marble and walk around on their knees. Hands of the boys were tied behind them and they were shot through their foreheads. There is evidence by doctors when they carry out a post-mortem that many young Sikh men were killed while their hands were tied with their own turbans behind their back and they shot at point-blank range in the head. The Sikh Reference Library and the Sikh Museum was set on fire, which was premeditated. This was a well-planned operation to burn the Sikh Library and the Sikh Museum to destroy our history, our heritage and all the artifacts. And again, many people talk about this. Then it goes on temple servants of Sri Darbar Sahib Muktsar and Muktsar Gurdwara Sahib were made to lie face downwards in the on the path around the sacred tank and beaten mercilessly. As a result of this, one of them died. All these boys who had taken Amrit were pulled out of their homes in the village of beaten severely. So Pak Puran Singh even investigated the Gurdwaras. Remember, around 42 other Gurdwaras, maybe more, were attacked at the same time as Darbar Sahib. So when they say, we attacked Darbar Sahib because Sant Jarnail Singh Pindrawali was inside, so that means Sant Jarnail Singh was in 42, 50 odd Gurdwaras as well. You know, you can see through the propaganda. Then Pak Puran Singh carries on, I am compelled to observe that the army has displayed bankruptcy of character and has acted with hearts full of enmity and in manner indicating that it wanted to wipe out the Sikhs. Young men from villages have been troubled much after the army action, which means they were harassed, they were beaten, the young Sikh men in villages. After hearing of and seeing such happenings, I reject and return to you the award of Padma Shri conferred on me. Pak Puran Singh stood his ground. How many of people that we know that go to get awards from the Indian government? I don't know a true Sikh would ever accept an award from the Indian government, no matter what it is, because they haven't apologized. 1984 genocide, thousands of Sikhs were burnt alive in the streets. No acknowledgement, is wiped from history. Fake encounters, thousands of young Sikh men were murdered after 1984. No apologies, no investigation, no independent commission, no international body allowed to investigate. Disappearances, many disappearances of young Sikhs who were proven that they were just thrown in canals after torture, beaten, shot, or cremated without identification. So much has happened in Punjab in such a little time. But we have even smaller, shorter memories. We keep taking awards from the governments that oppress, suppress, and give us so much injustice. And then those Sikhs that turn up to receive awards from such governments are actually part of the system that's oppressing us. So Pak Puran Singh Ji, respect the humanity and return the award. What is your excuse for accepting the awards? Do you think everything's okay now? No, it's not. And I'll finish on this last bit. So many women and children were locked up in the rooms for 2-3 days in boiling temperatures. They were not given water. They were found dead with their bodies swollen because the army wouldn't open the door. With the pleads, they were pleading, they were banging on the doors. The army just turned a deaf ear and they let them die. Know your history. Knowing history doesn't make you a terrorist. Having knowledge makes you dangerous and considered as a terrorist by a government that oppresses you. Your lack of knowledge means you're no danger to anyone. You can shout much as you want once a year. It makes no difference to anyone. So get your knowledge, know who you are, teach next generation. Thank you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.